Well, good morning and welcome back to Morning Rush. Tens of millions of people receive Medicare. And like just about everything else these days, costs are going up. The federal government is making the largest dollar increase in the program's history. And starting next year, the Medicare Part B premium will increase by $21.60, bringing the cost for a standard premium to $148.50. Actually, it starts there and it goes to $170, which is almost a 15% increase. Joining us now on Morning Rush is Paul Seegert. He's the managing partner of PCS Advisers, also an expert in the healthcare industry. Paul, thanks so much for joining us this morning. You know, many seniors live on a fixed income. They may not be able to afford a 15% increase. Why are these premiums going up so dramatically?
Yeah, they are going up about 3 times more than is normal, and the cause for that is the anticipated use of a new drug for Alzheimer's that will cost as much as $100,000 a year per person or enrollee that receives the treatment.
So is it just this Alzheimer's drug? Does inflation play into this at all, or maybe the pandemic?
Well, they usually do get an increase to account for inflation. Actually, the pandemic was kind of a boon for insurers and systems like this because claims were down quite a bit during the pandemic. So it is probably mostly attributable to the cost of this upcoming drug. Usually we would see maybe a 5% increase on average, so there's an extra 10 points. And as recently as a couple of months ago, they only projected a 7% increase. And so this drug is, I think, largely to blame, and is really interesting in that it doesn't have any studies yet that show that it is effective at either curing or slowing the development of Alzheimer's. And it's kind of a surprise that they're pricing this into the increase.
So what you're saying is they're putting aside money now for the future. Is that essentially what's happening here?
Yeah, they're pricing in the cost, the potential cost of that drug. We have about 6 million people in this country with Alzheimer's. Most of them are on Medicare. And the whole system spent maybe $130 billion on drugs, the whole Medicare system, just a couple of years ago. And if you could imagine 1 million people getting this drug, that could add $100 billion in and of itself. So it's a potential serious hit to the system financially.
Yeah, it is definitely a lot of money. How will those be impacted who receive Medicare Part B in the long term? What should people be thinking about right now?
Well, unfortunately, they are going to have to budget more for their health care premiums. And they are getting a larger than average increase on their Social Security, 5.9%. So for many Medicare recipients, that increase will outweigh the increase in premium. But that doesn't account for the fact that the increase in Social Security is there to account for the increased cost of living in general. And we are dealing with higher inflation throughout the economy. So unfortunately, many will be on a tighter budget.
Well, how is this normally paid for? Because it does come out of your Social Security check, is that right? And are there any other options for people who might be struggling to pay for this type of increase?
Well, unfortunately, the cost will be the cost. So for some folks, they are going to have to tighten their belt. There aren't really other options at this point. Once they announce the increase, it will go into effect.
All right, Paul Seegert, managing partner of PCS Advisers. We appreciate your time today. Thanks so much.